5. Jill. Tyler asked me to come down to his basement. He said he wanted to show me something. The floor shifted from chipped concrete to dirt and back again as he pulled me by my fingers to an unlit corner, batting away fresh spider webs. He shined a light up to where the walls and ceiling met. You see that? A small gray orb hung, no larger than a ping-pong ball. A tiny wasp crept around the circumference, pulsing gently and kneading its forelimbs into the orb. Tyler said they built their nest with a mixture of wood particles and saliva, and if we let it be, it might cover the entire wall someday. Lou. Black background, red text, green text, gray text. Young Caligula, 01/03/2018, 1654. This guy Sean F. Paulson talks about alternate realities stacked on top of our own, and what we usually see as empty space, and how some drugs actually help us perceive those places. He hasn't talked about worlds specifically, but it lines up. Yeah, no one knows for sure, but it's interesting. Pig 8/00/01/03/2018, 1702. At Young Caligula. Paulson is pretty good, but I'd also recommend Mark Brown. Some of Paulson is kind of corny IMO and makes some pretty huge leaps. Brown is better at reinforcing his theories. Young Caligula, 01/03/2018, 1710. Cool, I'm gonna check him out. Amir. Tyler was fucking off with Jill, and I was all out of weed, so I texted Marlon to see if he had any. Marlon, was going to ask you. Might have something in the works though. Meet up? I got dressed and asked Mom if I could get some cash for food. She must have wanted me out of the house, 'cause she didn't put up a fight at all, shoving a $10 bill in my hand. Then Tasha whined, why does he get money? So she gave her $10 too. If you're going out, take your sister with you. What? You've got a date or something? Excuse me, I thought I just gave you $10. Nah, it's cool. I smiled and chucked her in the arm. I asked Tasha if she wanted to go to Regal Lanes. I guess. She got on the back of my bike and I pedaled downtown. Marlon messaged me the moment I got her inside the bowling alley. Okay, I gotta go do something, so just hang here a while. How long? She said. Later. Are you buying drugs? I'm buying you a muzzle. Now stay here, and I'll be back later. Tell Mom and you're dead. She nodded. I got back outside and texted Marlon to come pick me up. He rolled up in his tan Camry, and I got in. He says we can come over whenever. He said, what are you looking for? I only got 10. Cool, same. I figure we can just get a half-eighth and split it up after. I'm not really looking to hang there. Who is it? Kai. I shrugged. White guy, blonde dreads, kind of a piece of shit. Right. Yeah, that guy sucks. Heard he got a trespassing notice for creeping at the school. The grade school. Jesus. Yeah, so we'll just be in and out. No, totally. Neither of us had been to Kai's place before. Tyler usually just asked what we wanted and picked it up for us. But he texted Marlon directions, which seemed like a pretty stupid move for a dealer. He lived in one of those single-story ranch motels that had been converted into low-rent housing. Outside, 5 guys covered in probably white power tats sipped beers and stared us down as we knocked on his door. Like I said, just in and out. The door creaked open the length of a gold security chain. The hippie's face peeked from the other side, yellow-gray skin and red-eyed. Okay, yeah, I know you guys. He pulled the door shut, undid the chain, and opened it all the way. Come in, my casa, your casa. The place was typical. A filthy kitchenette, a dumpster couch, an Xbox set on a wooden chair. The walls bare except for a flat-screen TV, a Pineapple Express poster, and a set of 3 mounted katanas. Please, sit. He gestured to the couch. I'm good. Marlon crossed his arms. Yeah, me too, I mumbled. Suit yourself? What can I do for you? Half-eighth. His cheeks dropped. You fucking nickel and diming me here? Then a slow smile crept back across his lips. Just messing with you. No problemo. He went over to the kitchenette, opened the fridge and pulled out a gallon jar filled up with dark green and purple nugs. He came back to the couch, plopped down and set up his scale. He stopped and looked back up at us. You sure you don't want to sit? Nah, I need the exercise. Cool. I feel you, brother. He went back to measuring the weed, but stopped again. You guys know any girls looking for weed? Like, from school? Nah. Marlon clenched his jaw and ground his teeth. Nothing better than a girl who likes weed, you know. Look, we gotta be someplace. All right. Kai finished weighing out the bag and handed it over. Marlon gave him our cash. Oh, almost forgot. Is one of you going to see Tyler soon? Why? Kai pulled a book from the stack on the coffee table and handed it to us. He wanted me to read it, but it's not really my speed. Can you give it back to him? I took the book. Prince of Wasps, Flora's Quiet War on the Anthropocene, by Sean F. Paulson. Yeah, sure. Cool. Thanks, brother. He stretched out his fist for a dap, but I just ignored him. He tried to get us to stay and smoke out of his new bong, but we just said peace and bounced. Jill. Kennedy drove us down to Keene for me and Tyler's anniversary. It was the closest town with a movie theater, and Kennedy had a cousin out there anyways, so she didn't mind. Just get at me when you're done. Yeah, sure. And I need to be back before midnight. Cool. All right, she snickered. Catch you lovebirds later. It was still early, so we caught a matinee at Cinema 6. It was a movie about a girl who falls in love with a ghost. He'd been killed by a biker gang like 30 years earlier, and ever since he'd been contacting the living to try to convince them to avenge him. That's how he meets the girl. He speaks to her through songs on her iPhone. Eventually, she agrees to help, and they fall in love and kill the bikers together. It's pretty stupid, but Tyler seemed to like it a lot. Yeah, there were some cool shots, and it was just kind of beautiful. The sex scene was so weird. He snorted. That's probably what it would be like, though. He opened a silver plastic pouch, pinched up some dried leaves, and stuffed them in his cheek. So what happens when she dies? Are they just going to live together forever? Wouldn't that be cool? His grin twisted my stomach, but I made myself be okay with it. She was so annoying, though. I don't know. We passed a handicapped bathroom. Tyler grabbed me by the wrist and yanked me inside. Lou. Black background, red text, green text, gray text. Creaky Gate has a posse. 06-15, 2018, 23-14. So when did the suicide start? I don't mean when the first guy from Kinsfield offed himself, but when it started happening with frequency. A real bad time. 06-15, 2018, 23-16. As long as there's been people killing themselves. Creaky Gate has a posse. 06-15, 2018, 23-21. No shit. That's why I put the whole second part. Misty Pain. 06-15, 2018, 23-32. First major year was 1954. At least 103 recorded suicides that year. Crazy Bob. 06-15, 2018, 23-35. Ding 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 ding. Private message. From Young Caligula to Misty Pain. How do you know that? From Young Caligula to Misty Pain. About the 1954 suicides. From Misty Pain to Young Caligula. I read it in a book. From Misty Pain to Young Caligula. New England Ghost Stories and Legends by Albert Savani. From Young Caligula to Misty Pain. So does it talk about Werner Baumenhauer? From Misty Pain to Young Caligula. Yes. From Young Caligula to Misty Pain. What do you know about him? Amir. We drove back to my place and smoked up in Blood Swamp. Marlon had to take a call from his brother, so I sat on a rock and flipped through Tyler's book. He dog-eared the bottom half of like half the pages and underlined and circled certain passages with red pen. I turned to the end of the introduction. Let us consider the English language, a set of 26 symbols with seemingly limitless combinations. Now suppose there was a man who had committed a severe wrongdoing against me, along the lines of extortion or defamation. Suppose I were to approach a third man and tell him my foe had committed a severe wrongdoing against him, an affair with his spouse, an act of thievery, whatever would push his buttons. Let us assume, using the rules and nuance of the English language, I make an exceptionally convincing argument, and this third man purchases a firearm, stalks my foe, and shoots him in retaliation for his accused and entirely fabricated ills. What is this flu, this force, this hormone that has convinced this fellow to take the life of a man he had never before encountered? Nothing more than a set of verbalized symbols, arranged and orated immaculately. Let us turn to an entirely different entity, flora. Far from merely passive beings, flora such as acacias and corn seedlings can, and often do, defend themselves violently. When eaten by caterpillars, corn seedlings will release pheromones that draw in wasps and other predatory insects, who then swarm and kill the caterpillars. Surely the wasps are not aware they are being manipulated into fighting the seedlings' battles, that their internal systems are being chemically hijacked, that they are being ruled by forces beyond their control. They must, in their own peculiar and alien way, believe that what they do is solely for the benefit of their respective hives, never once considering they work for an otherwise undetectable monarch. This, of course, forces a question. How sure can we be of our own autonomy? And to those who would shout this question down outright, of course we are not wasps, but though we may appear superior and vastly more complex, we abide by similar laws. As far as science is determined, our self is nothing more than a product of nerves and neurons and hormones and chemicals. From that foundation, the question becomes many. What forces are we unable to sense that nonetheless influence our existence? Is it possible for us to become aware of these forces? And perhaps, most terribly, what do these forces intend for us? Most of us would likely prefer to remain ignorant to the answer, for while the wasp knows not why it slays the caterpillar, it relishes its job just the same, its master too vast for its feeble senses to comprehend. The worst part about knowing anyone is knowing only that tiny sliver available to you. Marlin got off the phone, and I asked him what he knew about Tyler's notes. He scrunched up his face. What? The pizza box lids, I said, and the papers and note cards. He had no clue what I was talking about, so I texted Tyler. Me. Yo, you getting back soon? Tyler. Nah, it won't be till way later. I looked up at Marlin. You want to do something super sketchy? Jill. The bathroom smelled like bleach, puke, and shit, but it was so rare for us to truly have a moment alone together. We sucked at each other's lips and yanked at our belts. I ran my palms up his arms, feeling the ribs of his scar tissue, sinking into his dark body heat, shivering against his starved, stringy frame, wanting to drown in the reek beneath his armpits and between his thighs. Tyler wrapped his hands around my hips and pushed me against the wall. I slid my fingers beneath the front of his jeans, grazing sparse pubic hairs. His tongue lapped at my teeth. He tasted like buttered popcorn, $8 whiskey, and something else. A clump of ashy particles, like crumpled up leaves or ragged confetti, passed from his mouth to mine. He hardened against my belly. Clots of the soggy leaves pulled through into my mouth, and I swallowed. What even is that? I said. Nothing. Don't worry about it. He spun me around, slid my shorts and underwear down to my ankles, grabbed me by the hair and pushed his cock into me. Do you have a condom? I tried not to moan, even though it felt good. Each thrust made it feel like the room was changing. It's fine. The walls breathed in and out, synced with mine, breathing faster as I breathed. The colors dulled and brightened, throbbing. Tiny black strings crawled down the plaster and tile, curling, forming the outlines of eyes and mouths. Wind flooded my ears like cloth whipping in a storm. He groaned and pulled out. I turned slowly, panting, and pressed my back against the wall. Tyler's face strained and blurred. Black strings climbed from his lips to his nostrils. He ran his left hand up and down his cock, so rough and fast I thought it might bleed from friction. He held out a yellow bandana in front of him. I pulled up my shorts and began moving my hands toward his groin, but he grunted no. So I leaned back against the wall and watched, trying not to listen to the voices and the wind in my ears. He came in the bandana, pearl goop in a pile of little black strings. His face, arms, and thighs glazed with sweat. He smiled and pulled up his pants. That was dope. He took out his phone and snapped a picture of me. Then he tapped out a message or something. I leaned in and kissed him hard and moved down to suck on his neck. I opened my eyes and watched him tuck and fold up the bandana into his back pocket. The black strings crawled from the bandana up his back. I pulled away. He gave me a weird look. You came, right? Yeah, I lied. A fist slammed on the door. Come on, a voice yelled. Oh shit. We giggled and clutched at each other. Let's get something to eat, he said. He unlocked the door and we dashed out into the lobby, past another dead-eyed teenage couple waiting to get into the bathroom. Lou. I sat and went inside my body, and my fingers tapped across the keyboard, fluffy like Jill's. My arms went fluffy, my guts, legs and face, and it became true because I couldn't see myself reflected in the monitor. From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. Baumhauer wanted to weigh a human soul. He killed himself trying to see if it could be done. From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. Yeah, he hanged himself on a scale and had a kid measure the change. From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. Some people think he was a murderer or a Nazi. From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. And he started the suicides. From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. I don't know if that's true. From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. It is. You already know it is. Her insides churned in mine, and mine in hers. Her hair brushed against my cheek. From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. How old are you? From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. Doesn't matter. From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. No. From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. How old are you? From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. 24. From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. Lol, me too. From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. Do you have a girlfriend? From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. Lol, why? From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. Just curious, but never mind. From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. No. You have a boyfriend? From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. No. From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. What do you look like? My words became her pillows, words that once belonged to her. From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. What's your name? From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. Nate. Yours? From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. Misty. From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. Lol, that's wild. Amir. Tyler's mom's car wasn't in the driveway. I had thought I'd remember him saying she was out of town for the weekend. We crept around the back and dug the hide-a-key rock out of the flower bed. We unlocked the back door, took off our shoes, got inside and snuck down to the basement. I tugged on the light and reached under the couch. It felt different, more stuff under there than last time. I pulled out some of the cardboard and papers. Marlon squinted, small valleys carved across his forehead. What the fuck? I told you, dude. Push a man and the man pushes back, he read. Push a tree and the tree pushes back. Push the dirt and the dirt pushes back. There are a couple of books down here, too. Conflict Psychology by Mark S. Brown. The Mothman Prophecies by John Keel. Looks like they're from the library. Burn the virus and its children grow strong. Slept a decade between the serpent's teeth. He squeezed his eyes tight and opened them again and looked at me. Maybe this is just how he writes the lyrics. But he sounded like he didn't even believe that. I handed him another sheet. Check this out. His eyes scanned the writing. Ted Crane, February 2nd, 2016. Frank Adler, March 17th, 2016. Abigail Switz, March 24th, 2016. James Landis, May 9th, 2016. What the fuck? Read the end. Roy Callahan, April 30th, 2018. Chris Hertz, May 28th, 2018. Donald Pielter, June 8th, 2018. Hector Ferreira, June 21st, 2018. Trevor Wright, July 17th, 2018. His mouth fell open. Oh, whoa. Yeah. All the people who off themselves, right? Right. But no, not really. Trevor was just in the shop the other day. It must be something else. But the date, July 17th, 3 weeks from then. Marlon shook his head and started putting all the cardboard and papers back in order. We shouldn't be down here. This is like his personal stuff. His hands were shaking. Plus, I just realized this is some legit breaking and entering. Okay, you're right. I was disappointed, but didn't know why. I helped him put everything back in order, or as best as we could, and slid the pile back under the couch. I tugged off the light, and then we heard footsteps upstairs. Jill. Let's eat here. He tapped on the plate glass. It looked like a restaurant they'd use for a movie set. I don't think I can afford this place. It's cool. I got you. Baby. I said it's cool. He smiled. Tiny black strands danced between his gums. He stepped through the door into the dimmed beige lights. An open brick oven kitchen. Chandeliers made out of old wine bottles. The hostess looked scared of us, but still smiled through it, leading us to an unlit corner in the back. She laid out menus and poured us each a glass of water. I lifted the glass to my mouth. A string crawled from under my thumbnail, and a hairline crack shot around the glass. I set it back on the table. Water leaked from the crack down into the tablecloth. I ordered the cheapest thing on the menu, even though Tyler said I could get whatever I wanted. It was probably the best spaghetti and meatballs I'd ever had in my life. The waitress cleared her plates, her face shimmering purple and wormy, the black strings dripping down her tear ducts and crawling toward another booth. She asked if we wanted any dessert. Tyler smiled and gestured to me. I don't know. He raised his index and middle finger. 2 menus. I got the cheapest thing again, chocolate mousse, and Tyler got a brownie with ice cream on top. He only ate about 2 bites, then just leaned back and stared at me. Is something wrong? I said. No, everything's great. But he wasn't smiling anymore. His face throbbed red and white. You still love me, right? Something in the question felt like a needle in the back of my neck. Of course. Good. We finished up. The waitress cleared our plates and bowls and said she'd be back with our check. Tyler's gaze drifted with her stride as she wound between tables to the wait station. All right, let's go. The hum grew in my ears and whispers pushed through it, and black strings reached out and beneath his eyes and teeth. He got up and pulled me out of the booth, between a line of tables, past the kitchen, out through the hallway into a hotel lobby. We rushed past the concierge, pressing through glass doors into a wall of soggy air, running and laughing into the dark. Lou. I live inside her house, with her family and friends, tending boxes where she kept her secrets and reasonings. I knew the world as people do. From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. So how did you find the forum? From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. Just curious. You? From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. I was looking for it. From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. Do you like it? From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. I do. From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. It's everything. There's not anything else. From Misty Payne to Young Caligula. What do you mean? From Young Caligula to Misty Payne. I don't think I can make it any clearer. Amir. Marlon clutched at my shoulder. This was a bad idea. We'll just tell him something. This sucks. This sucks so bad. We'll just tell him we were recording. I hate everything about this. He let go of my shoulder and headed to the foot of the stairs, then turned back to me. Are you coming? It was obvious Tyler probably heard us as we creaked up the stairs. We reached the top and opened the door into the kitchen. Tyler's mom stood with her fist around a small black pistol, pointed at my face. Whoa! We both put our hands up. What the hell are you doing here? Looking for Tyler, I said. Is he here? We shook our heads. Then you goddamn shouldn't be either. She kept the muzzle trained between my eyes, even though I'm sure she recognized me. Yes, ma'am, Tyler whispered. So get out, now. Yes, ma'am. We gathered up our shoes and headed to the door. You know, most women wouldn't think twice to pull the trigger if they caught a pair like you in their house. She leaned her face forward, bug-eyed. So maybe you can appreciate that. She never lowered the gun. I bet she didn't put it away until we were all the way back home and trying to get to sleep. Jill. Kennedy pulled into the parking lot, rolled down her window and shouted, You kids have fun? Me and Tyler piled into the back. Hey, nuh-uh. You've got all day to play with each other. I'm not sitting up here alone. I got back out and into the front seat. How was the movie? It was, holy shit, what's up with your eyes? Shit, you guys did have fun. What you got? Gimme. Tyler said he was all out. Bullshit. I got some weed. Everyone's got weed, but fine, pack it, jerks. She reached up and unlatched a sunglasses holster in the ceiling and pulled out her glass bong. I didn't tell her about the strings crawling out of her face. She took us back through the mountains toward home. The black forest beside us felt alive and predatory. I tried pushing the strings and vibes away, chain smoking, and tuning into the music on the stereo, a man singing about being dragged to the bottom of the ocean. Tyler stayed silent in the back seat, doing stuff on his phone. We got home at 12:15. Kennedy dropped Tyler off at his place before mine, so my parents wouldn't see him. We got out and made out a little in his driveway. His mouth tasted like string, coils of dirty thread. He asked if I had any Ativan, so I gave him some. I got home and Dad was awake on the couch, a cluster of empties on the coffee table. He asked me how Kennedy was. I told him she was good and ran down the hall before he could get a good look at my eyes. Lou. I shut the laptop and dreamed inside her body, in her blankets, drinking breakfast juice in a warm black space, above a man with the wind-swept sheet of a body blowing to rags beneath us.